It is time for Wednesday Night Baseball. The New York Mets are hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks, trying to keep their amazing start to the season up and rolling. Good evening to each and every one of you. Hi, everybody. This is MetropoliFins. My name is Craig. Want to welcome you in here. Please, as you come on in, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are on the journey to 300 subscribers, and we need your help to get us there. We're so excited to be here with you tonight after a couple of nights off for me because of playoff baseball. We'll give a little playoff Little League baseball update for you guys as we go through the game. But tonight, there is no game. Tonight's an off day. And getting ready to see, because the last two games that I have not covered, the Mets have had an absolute crazy offensive explosion. And so I'm hoping that they still have some offense left in the tank ready to go for tonight. It is a bullpen / starter game for the Mets. Huascar Brazaban is going to be the starting pitcher for the Mets today and probably go an inning or two, depending on how he does, and then we'll go from there. All right, so the lineup for the New York Mets today is as follows. Leading off is Lindor at short, then Juan Soto at second, Juan Soto hitting second in right field, Pete Alonso hitting third at first base. Mark Vientos looks like he's getting closer and closer to locking up this cleanup spot here. He's hitting fourth at third base. His batting average is finally over 200, a solid 210. And he keeps on hitting as this whole team has woken up on the hitting side recently. Starling Marte is hitting fifth. He's the DH. Jeff McNeil hitting sixth in left field. Francisco Alvarez catching in seventh. Luis Angel Acuna second base hitting eighth. And Tyrone Taylor is your center fielder, and he is hitting ninth. So that's the Mets lineup here for today. I know, Jonathan, been back-to-back great games by the Mets. I got to watch all the highlights of the 19-5 drubbing, and I'm thinking, man, maybe I'm just the bad luck charm. Maybe I'm the reason the Mets can't hit. But because the two back-to-back games, they scored, 27 runs? Is that what it is? 27 runs in the last 2 days? And I haven't covered either of those games, so go figure. Go figure. That's how it is. It's absolutely great to see the Mets bats starting to come alive. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to do, and we need our pitching to kind of hold in there. There's all sorts of Mets updates. Cadence, how's it going? Good evening to you. No, because I feel like, Jonathan, that kind of puts a little extra fire under them. I feel like if I put them as number one, they're going to get complacent. So they'll get there, I believe, eventually, but I just couldn't. I was so upset with them after blowing 2 out of 3 games to the Nationals. There's no way I was going to put them as number one. So we're here covering New York Mets baseball here tonight. So I'm excited to be here with you. So if that's your job, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. The game is just about ready to begin. So this is game 2 in the series of Mets versus Diamondbacks. So Huascar Brazaban is going to be the opener for the Mets here today, and then there'll be kind of a bullpen game as necessary after that. So Brandon Waddell is coming in next. He's set to get kind of the bulk of the performance here today. He's a lefty. Waddell is 30 years old. And he's pitched in the majors a couple of games, but not since 2021. That was the last time he pitched in the majors. So he's been in 11 total games in his career. There's a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike to Tawa. Of course, you have the little benefit here that you start with Brazaban, a righty, and then you're going to come back with Waddell, who is a lefty. So, it kind of forces the other team to commit one way or the other. This is flying out towards left field, and Tyrone Taylor makes a good catch, jumping up against the wall. And that's going to be the first out of the game and the perfect way to get this started here today. So there's been really good defense here recently. Like I know I haven't been covering the games the last 2 nights, but I've seen lots of good defensive plays. By the way, if you guys haven't seen I believe it was Dalton Varsho for the Blue Jays, fell down in center field, got turned around and still caught it backhanded, facing away from the field. You have to go see that catch. I don't know what percent of that catch was luck versus skill for Dalton Varsho, but it was a beautiful play. All right, that's fouled back. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now they're on the SNY broadcast. Now they're talking about that Dalton Varsho catch. I remember like a year or two ago, there was an outfielder. I don't know who it was, but he like lost the ball in the sun and just put his glove out. Was that Brandon Marsh? Just put like his glove out and the ball just landed in his glove in the outfield. There's a 1-2 pitch here to Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll's off to a really good start this year for the Diamondbacks. So got him struck out here though. There's 2 quick outs. Yeah, as Marshy made that play, Jonathan. Yeah, that was good. But this one, the Varsho play was better than that. All right, Randall Grichuk is hitting for the Diamondbacks here. He's the DH tonight. First pitch is a call. I like how Brazoban is pitching tonight. I don't know if he's going to get 2 innings or not, but he's looking really good. Yeah, there we go. There's strike 2. All right, here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Alvarez got some cool colors on his catching gear today. All right, well, that was it. That's a nice 1-2-3 inning to get the game started. We're headed to the bottom of the first. The normal 3 for the Mets are going to be starting and leading us off. Lindor, Soto, Alonso. Yeah, it's amazing to me how much deeper this whole lineup looks with McNeil and Alvarez in it. I don't think it's a coincidence that those guys come back. Yeah, I know. Tiffany green is the right color. I could not think of that. It's like it's not quite a mint, but I like it. Just puts a little flair out there. So, but the depth of this lineup, but when you add McNeil and Alvarez into this lineup, it's just so much deeper top to bottom. And like then it doesn't feel like a big deal having Tyrone Taylor in the 8 hole. Like he's not going to get on base a ton, but if he does, he's not going to slow anybody down the base paths. Luis Angel Acuna is not going to slow anybody down the base paths either. So you got those guys to kind of do what you need to do to kind of drive in McNeil and Alvarez, and it's like there's just not many holes in this lineup. KC, how's it going? Appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight. So we're going to the bottom of the first here. Bad news, Casey. What's the bad news? I don't want to hear bad news. Did Trout get hurt? Oh, no. Was that today? I haven't heard about that. Hopefully, let's see. I mean, he was looking good this season, too. All right, I'm just reading to see. Yeah, I left the game today. All right, let's see. Mike Trout exited Wednesday's game against the Mariners with an apparent injury. He was taken out of the game ahead of his at-bat in the 4th inning, replaced by pinch hitter Joe Adell. During his most recent at-bat in the 3rd inning, he tried to run out a ground ball to second base. He sprinted down the line, lunged at first base, just barely called out. So hopefully that's just like a little thing. Hopefully he'll be back in a couple of days. Yeah, and then Jonathan Danny Young is on the injured list with an elbow sprain. Yeah, and AJ Minter looks like he might be out for the season for the Mets too. So it's I'm gonna say this no matter what. By the way, it's Francisco Lindor at the plate, 1 ball, 1 strike count. He rips that one down the another leadoff base hit. That's gonna be a double for Lindor. Another leadoff extra base hit. Hey, Marie, I appreciate it so much. Thank you for sharing the love. The leadoff double for Francisco Lindor. I appreciate it. We try to do that sometimes too. Go visit some other small creators. So hey, I appreciate it, Marie. Thank you so much. Ross, you got to learn how to troll better. Learn how to troll better. Are you guys really still trying to catch creators with that? Are you really trying to catch creators with that still? Yeah, we don't do that here. Tigers have been sneaky good. I put them #1 in my power rankings. Jonathan doesn't like it. All right. All right, Jonathan. I'm only putting out Rally Pig. I have a theory on Rally Pig here that he's actually an anti-Rally Pig, but we're going to put him out here. Soto is up at the plate here. I look like Ritz. Yeah, Tigers sneaky good. So we're just live covering, Mark. We're just live covering the Mets game here tonight. So the topic is New York Mets, but baseball in general. Anything you guys want to talk about regarding baseball? All right, here is the 2-0 pitch to Juan Soto. Flies that one down the left field line. Gurriel is not able to make the catch on that. Ritz the rapper and Queso. All right. So are you a Tigers fan, Mark? Because Jonathan doesn't like that I put the Tigers as #1 in my power rankings for this week, but I did. I don't know if I was just purely angry at the Mets, but I just feel like there's no way the Mets should have blown 2 out of 3 games in a row to the Nationals, and I just felt like that's not something a top team should do. That's outside 3 balls, 1 strike. By the way, for all those who are new here, this is our Rally Pig. We bring it out whenever we want to try to get the Mets to score a run. But Rally Pig has been slumping recently. It's my old piggy bank from when I was a kid, so you can kind of see. All right, Juan Soto, 3-1 count here. This is time for Juan Soto to come through. He lashes that one. He hit it well. Lindor's going to tag and move up from second to third. You're on the Tigers in Little League, and you went undefeated, and you were in the newspaper. Awesome. That's good stuff. My son is in Little League right now. They're in the middle of their playoffs as we speak. So there's going to be a runner on third here with 1 out. Yeah, see, Jonathan's saying the Tigers lost 2 in a row after I made and the Mets won 2 in a row. So it's like I feel like I have to kind of like badmouth the Mets in order to keep them winning. I got to be the fire under them there. Go Yankees! You're a Yankee fan. Yankees have gotten off to they got off to a hot start. They cooled off a little bit, but they've been back on fire. And Aaron Judge is having if you take his last 162 games, like from like this time last year, this time this year, and made it into a single season, Aaron Judge is having one of the best 162 game stretches in baseball history right now. It's absolutely phenomenal. So make sure you enjoy every moment of that, William. I can't really enjoy it because I'm a Mets fan, but you enjoy it because from a baseball perspective, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what Aaron Judge is doing. All right. 3 balls and no strikes to Pete Alonso here. Tigers did great in 1984. I like this Tigers team. So I've been a big fan of Spencer Torkelson and Casey Mize. It's good to see both of them going. Of course, you still have Tariq Skubal there. So Mets game is on MLB Network right now too. And Pete takes a walk. So there's going to be runners on first and third with 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Mets trying to get out to an early lead. Yeah, that hit by Soto would have left Yankee Stadium. That's for sure. That's for sure. That's a small little stadium over there. Is it like the game of the night, Casey, or are they just flipping through to a bunch of different games? Because I know they do both. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Ja, appreciate you. Sorry if I missed your comments. They're coming through fast and furious here. All right. It is Swaggy Marky V, Mark Vientos at the plate. Corbin Burns having trouble finding strike zone. It's the first pitch ball. And the Mets need to take advantage here because when you have a guy like Corbin Burns who's struggling in the first inning, you kind of have to get to him in the first inning or not. Gotcha, Casey. All right, let's see what Vientos has here. That's low. 2 balls, no strikes. I like the patience the Mets are showing here, too. Dev, how's it going? Appreciate you being here tonight. So they're doing a meeting at the mound with Corbin Burns here right now. So it's currently 2 balls, no strikes to Mark Vientos. Mets have runners on first and third. There's 1 out, bottom of the first inning. So Lindor is on third. Hit a leadoff double, moved up on a fly ball by Juan Soto, and then Pete Alonso walked. It's 2-0 count to Mark Vientos. Diamondbacks went down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. All right, let's see if Carroll can pitch a strike here. No, in the dirt. 3 balls, no strikes to Swaggy Marky V. You've got patience here. So let's see if the Mets continue with the patience. And Vientos does take ball 4. Corbin Burns is not happy right now. They're going to do the pitching coach is going to go out to the mound here now. He's going to slow down. So the Mets have bases loaded. Bases loaded with 1 out here. Bottom of the first inning. Mets are trying to get on the board. If the Mets do not get on the board here, I don't know. It'll feel like a wasted inning for sure. Appreciate everybody hanging out. We're on our way to 300 subscribers, so make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. Appreciate every one of you spending your time with us here tonight. Angel, how's it going? Or Angel? Angel or Angel? Let me know. All right. Starling Marte now at the plate with the bases loaded. TT, how's it going? Appreciate you hanging out here. All right, Starling Marte at the plate for the Mets here. Bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the first inning, no runs in yet. That first pitch is going to be a strike. So Marte, of course, no reason to swing at the first pitch there after he just walked back-to-back batters on 8 pitches straight. But it certainly feels like the Mets need to put a crooked number on the board here. All right, Marte checks his swing. There's 1 ball, 1 strike. He almost went around on that. It's Lindor on third, Pete Alonso on second, Mark Vientos on first for the Mets. Marte fouls that back. JG, been through several years of it. Yep. Your fortune is turning. May you savor the experience. Believe me, I absolutely am savoring and enjoying every moment of it. Obviously, the Mets have not won anything yet. But yes, we are. I'm the last Mets fan that will ever get cocky or arrogant about a team. I'm very much of the Missouri mentality, even though I'm not from Missouri. Show me, prove it to me here. So Marte chases, goes down on strikes. Marte was not seeing the ball well that 303, how's it going? It definitely looks like definitely looks like Corbin Burns is starting to settle in. Jeff McNeil bounces it down to first, and Corbin Burns gets out of the inning, and Rally Pig has failed. So my thought process is, it's maybe he's actually the anti Rally Pig. It might be that it's not Rally Pig. Maybe he's the anti Rally Pig. So we're gonna try in a new way. He's gonna get moved to when the other team is rallying. Do that. All right, so we're going to the top of the second inning. It is nothing, nothing. Let's load the bases, but we're unable to get anything across. Yeah, we're gonna try Rally Pig as the anti Rally Pig. That's what we're gonna go for with it. JG, what is your baseball team? Do you have a team? How's it going, Cowboy? No salon necessary. No salon necessary at this point in my life, or really at any point in my life. So Danny Young is injured for the Mets. AJ Minter is injured for the Mets. Mike Trout got injured today. So a whole bunch of injury things stacking up. That Judge hit a 426-foot home run today. Hampter, how's it going? Indians/Guardians. Awesome. Nighthawk, no, I'm not a wrestler. Not a wrestler. Goose, how's it going? You guys are wild tonight. You guys are wild tonight. We're at commercial break right now. We are waiting for this game to come back here. We'll see if Brazaban's going to come out for the top of the second. He had a nice 1-2-3. King Julian, how's it going? I don't even know what things are. If I don't know what it is, I don't say it, King Julian. But I appreciate you being here. Tommy Glue, how's it going? Sean from Antarctica. Well, that's awesome. I didn't even know they had internet in Antarctica. You guys are wild tonight. The only Pirates I follow right now, Sharpness, are the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're winning 1-0 over the Cubs. So, and in Little League, there was a Pirates team playing at our Little League field last night, and they lost like 17-1. That's the only Pirates I know about. This is Eugenio Suarez. He who hit 4 home runs in a game in a loss last week. 0-2 on the count here. I got it, Goose. I got all the jokes wrapped into one. Suarez pops this one up. Lindor is getting under it. And that's going to be the first down the top of the second inning. By the way, Brazaban did come back out here for the Mets this inning. So, hey, I'm a big fan of Pirates of the Caribbean, the movies. So that was like peak movie making to me right there. The CGI in Pirates of the Caribbean is better than like CGI in most movies nowadays. A pirate's life for me. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, we can go with the Redbeard pirate theme if you guys want. There's a pitch clock violation for Brazaban here. HS, make sure we're English only in here. Just so you know, I'm glad you're here. But we're English only. You guys are all wild tonight. You guys are nuts. Appreciate you being here. Goose. All right. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Brazaban's getting on this umpire's nerves all of a sudden, getting warnings from him and everything else. All right, here's a 2-0 pitch, and that's low. Of course, if you're the Mets, you just want to get Brazaban in and out this inning. Brazaban is just the opener here today. Mike, how's it going? And that's outside, ball 4. It's kind of it's like a 3-pitch walk because there's a pitch clock violation. Yeah, so Jonathan's saying Azokar and Acuna are really growing on me. They're hitting extremely well. I agree. We're not playing. We're actually covering the live New York Mets game right now, Mike. So this is the actual game in progress. Arizona Diamondbacks at New York Mets. So it's 0-0, top of the second. Gabriel Moreno coming up with 1 out here. First pitch is a strike right down the middle, so that's good for Brazaban after 3 straight balls there. I am not doing any fantasy baseball this year, Goose. I would love to get back into it. I used to play a lot, like in my college days, and then got married, had kids, haven't had time, but I would love to get to the point of playing it. Yeah, probably not like super serious, just for fun. Always enjoyed kind of that roster variation. Hey, Barushan, thanks for the sub and the like. Appreciate it so much. And Mike, no, I don't do really anything with video games. I just don't have a lot of time. This is this YouTube channel covering New York Mets baseball, Miami Dolphins football, sports. This is kind of like where I put my free time and trying to develop this into maybe a future income stream. But that's basically what it is. Everything else is like family time and everything else. So nope, not a Fortnite stream. Watching New York Mets baseball here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Gabriel Moreno. But I appreciate you guys hanging out here tonight. Absolutely. And my son's also in Little League, so I'm one of the coaches for his team. Moreno fouls that one back. Remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bigfoot, I'm glad you're here, but we're family friendly, so we can talk Bigfoot normal questions. So Moreno swings and misses for the strikeout. 1940s commentator voice. Let's see. I'll see what I can do here for this next batter here, Goose. I'll see what I can do. Family comes first, of course. Absolutely. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with us on the stream here too, because gives me the opportunity maybe down the road to help support my family through streaming like this. All right. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. comes to the plate. I don't know if this is a good 1940s announcer or not. You guys have to let me know. First pitch is a strike. I don't know why I went like Scottish all of a sudden there. Stay focused. You're a Phillies fan. Yeah, I think the Phillies and Mets and Braves are all going to be there come the end of the season. I think it's going to be a battle to the end. Brazaban steps off the mound. He stares down the batter. Gurriel. Let's see what he's doing for the season. This is my best 40s announcer. Best. There's a ball inside to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Currently hitting a mere 168 on the season. I feel like there should be some crackling sounds in the background from the radio. Quagmire was based on 40s baseball announcers. I did not know that. That's an interesting factoid. All right, the 1-1 pitch is on the way. And he throws over to first. The runner scampers back. Quagmire's a cartoon character from the Family Guy TV show. Keep it real. Never know what I'm going to do next. He dunks it up and running over. Luis Angel Acuna makes a nice running grab to retire the side. The Arizona Diamondbacks are out in the top of the second, and we head to the bottom of the second for the New York Metropolitans. It's like a 40s announcer with some giggities in there, I guess. All right, we're going to the bottom of the second inning. The Mets loaded the bases in the bottom of the first. Were unable to score. Mystical, and I can fly. It's both. Buddy, see. And I always just picture like the crackling and then like the musical track around. So I recently did a video on the history of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, which is, so I was kind of, I don't know if that's not quite the 40s, but it's in that general range, that old timey voice, of how they were singing the song back in the day. So I can hear a little bit in my head, and I always feel like it's choppy. Like the older announcers are very choppy. Like, here's at the plate. Whereas now announcers try to be a whole lot more smooth and kind of keeping the conversation going. The 40s announcer. Floridians dislike New Yorkers. We like Floridians like New Yorkers' money. We like when New Yorkers come as tourists, but nobody. The worst part about Florida is that we get the drivers, especially South Florida. We get drivers from all around the country. And so, every area of the country has their own type of bad drivers. But in Florida, we get all the bad drivers at the same time. So it's like nobody knows how to drive at all down here. So, oh, you're from Florida, keep it real. I'm from the other side, from the Fort Myers area. So, other side of the state. You're a bad driver. Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. How's it going? Let's go Mets, baby. I'm hoping that I'm not going to jinx the Mets because the last game I did was the game that they blew on Sunday, and then I didn't cover the last 2 days, and the Mets absolutely have demolished. All right, so the perfect time for Little League playoffs. So my son is playing Little League. He's in like the 8 to 10-year-old division. So we're in the middle of playoffs. So game one, Barossa is going to retire Francisco Alvarez for the first half inning here. So the first game we played the Reds, and we're the Bats, which is like the AAA affiliate of the Reds, but that's kind of funny. So we played the Reds. We got off to a 4-0 lead, and then we blew the 4-0 lead and got behind I want to say we got behind 6-4 or 5-4, something like that. And then in the top of the last inning, then we came back and took the lead, and I think that was 6-5. And then the bottom of that inning, we gave up the lead, and we ended up losing 7-6. So we're in pool. It's not technically single or double elimination, but it's definitely double. If you lose 2, you're definitely out. So then we came back yesterday. My son was the starting pitcher yesterday. He went 1 1/3 innings and didn't give up any runs, gave up a couple of hits, but got out of it. And then a relief pitcher came in because he still stretched his arm out. He got 30 pitches in. He hasn't pitched much more than 30 to 40 pitches in the game. But he got to strike out his best friend from school. So we played the Mets yesterday in Little League. By the way, that's a second out of the inning is by Luis Angel Acuna, fly out there, and Tyrone Taylor's at the plate. And so we played the Mets, so we got out, and then we got out to a 5-0 lead, and then we scored 2, and then we scored 5. Woo, high and tight. And anyway, by the end of the game, we won the game 12-1 yesterday. So we beat the Mets 12-1. But the Little League Mets. But it's definitely weird cheering against the Mets. That's for sure. Yeah. So now tomorrow. So there's no game tonight. That's why it's at 1 ball, 1 strike to Tyrone Taylor. Mets. You better believe it. So the next game is tomorrow. We have to win. That's the first thing. And based on what we can tell by the tiebreakers, we need to win by 5 runs and not give up too many runs. So we need to win by something like 7-2 or 8-3, something like that. So the Yankees beat. That ball's going to fall in for Tyrone Taylor. He makes a hard turn, but he's going to still get on base with a 2-out single. Felix, how's it going? So basically, the Yankees beat the Mets. We lost to the Reds. Then the Yankees beat the Reds. We beat the Mets. The Yankees are 2-0, and us, the Bats, we're 1-1. But if we can beat the Yankees by at least 5 runs, maybe 4, maybe 5, but if we can beat the Yankees and also not give up a lot of runs, because the tiebreaker is runs given up. And so if we can do that, then we have a chance to move in. Jonathan, you're just a glutton for punishment asking for Rally Pig. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off till Soto comes up. Let's go Expos. Yeah, going old school. Kicking it old school. Vila, how are you doing tonight? Spider-Man, I don't really do much for NBA. I'm pretty much a baseball football guy. Throw over to first. Tyrone Taylor gets back easily. So we play tomorrow night at around 7:45. It is. It's always the Yankees. And the Mets were one of the well, they're a young team, but and this Yankees team, they beat us earlier in the season, but not by much. I know we can beat them. We have the talent to beat them, but it just depends on if kids come ready to play or not. Because we can hit, that's not usually a problem. Our problem is usually defensive mistakes. That's what killed us in the Reds game. Like, we literally lost the game by just throwing the ball. Like, the last play of the game was us throwing the ball all the way around the infield and then wild pitches and stuff like that. So, am I a Viking or a Pirate? One or the other. Jonathan's going to be at Citi Field tomorrow. Enjoy the game. We will be streaming tomorrow. So, your wife's boyfriend is a Braves fan. Lindor at the plate here with a 1-2 count. Tyrone Taylor's on first. Lindor spoils that one. Foul down the first baseline. If you guys are in here, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're MetropoliFins. We're YouTube's smallest New York Mets, Miami Dolphins channel. On our way to 300 subscribers. My name is Craig, and we're trying to cheer on the Mets. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Pete Crow Armstrong would look great in our center field right now. That's going to go down as a really bad trade in Mets history, I think. So dribbler to Burns, but he's able to field it and throw it out. So that's going to retire this out. We're going to go to the top of the third inning here. And it is going to be 0-0 Mets. Ronaldo or Messi? Well, so because I'm in Florida, I just always default to Messi because he plays in Miami. That's all I see is Messi jerseys everywhere. But I don't really follow soccer much, so solely because of the Florida connection. I mean, the amount of kids down here who wear Messi jerseys, it's crazy. Like, so many kids. A little less now than maybe when he first signed, but I'm scared to Google something that's that German sounding. Louis, appreciate you being here tonight. I appreciate you guys being here. We are at a commercial break, so you're not missing any of the action right now. The Mets are going to be bringing in a new pitcher here. So we're going to tell you all about him. Let me bring him up. I'm going to bring him up. This is his first appearance in the Major League since 2021. Brandon Waddell. Brandon Waddell. He is a lefty, 6'3", 180-pound lefty. He's 30 years old. I mean, I have a small background in German, but so if it's like words that I don't know and that's in German or really any language, I've just learned you can't just randomly Google stuff that people say on these streams. Rouser. How about I just look for Rouser Fairy Tale? Will that work? I mean, I know it's the capital B, but that's the. Well, yeah. All right, I found it. Rauber. Oh, Rauber, not Rouser. Ah, he's got more hair than me. Hots and Trots. Very fun to see. All right, so Brandon Waddell is originally drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 5th round in 2015. He's pitched with the Pirates, the Twins, the Orioles, and the Cardinals in a total of 11 games. So he's pitched 11 games in the major leagues with 4 different teams. And he has not pitched in the majors since 2021. It's cool. You just know. I got to be careful. I got to be careful. This is hit out to left field. Jeff McNeil is under it, and there's going to be a one out here in the top of the 3rd inning. By the way, yesterday Jacob deGrom got his first win of 2025. So, congrats to deGrom getting back in the win column. A diving stop by Luis Angel Acuna is not going to get him out at first, but a great diving play there by Acuna. Very, very good play by Acuna. All right. Tim Tawa at the plate here. First pitch is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. All right, let's see. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. All right, here's a 1-1 pitch to Tawa. That's a little bit high. 2 balls, 1 strike. We'll do a full scoreboard update here in just a couple of minutes as well. There's lots of day baseball today. Lots of games already in the books, plus some games that are kind of underway about the same time as us. All right, 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count to Tawa here. Brandon Waddell pitching for the Mets, making his 2025 debut. Never ever, how's it going? Appreciate you being here tonight. Please keep it family friendly. We're a family friendly channel. Duke, how's it going? You can trash talk and just got to keep it clean and have it fun. Why would Mendoza stack Vientos and Marte in the lineup? Mendoza's been making some questionable moves lately. I do agree. I agree with that. Darren, how's it going? Duke, I'm doing well. I hope you were doing well as well. So NYC slots. So first of all, thank you for being here. I do agree that he's been a little off with some of his decisions. I wonder if he's just swing and a miss there. That's his first New York Mets strikeout. This is Waddell's 12th Major League appearance with his 15th. That's crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do think that Vientos is getting pretty close to earning that cleanup spot. And I don't know if the thought process is it's Marte's just hitting where they would normally want Nimmo to hit. I think I'd probably rather have McNeil hitting there after Vientos. There's the throw over to first. 2 outs here, top of the third, runner on first for the Diamondbacks. But yeah, I mean, I agree. There's been some questionable things. Thank you, Duke. I appreciate it. I'm not really a Knicks fan. He's running. Ooh, good throw, but not quite in time. Nice throw down by Alvarez. They're they're not going to challenge it, but it was at least close enough that they checked. It was a good jump. I'm ahead of you guys on all these stats, SNY. So the same thing I was just talking about, the 5 teams with 12 games, that's what they're talking about now. That pitch is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Corbin Carroll at the plate, definitely one of the best hitters in there. Yeah, so I'm not really a Knicks fan. If I had a basketball team, it would probably be like the Timberwolves. More Timberwolves games than anybody else back when I lived in Minnesota. So I don't really follow much for um I don't follow much basketball or hockey, but if I did, those loyalties would probably be for the Minnesota teams. So I've also probably been to more Minnesota Twins games than any other baseball team, but I had already firmly locked in as a Mets fan. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Twins, except when they beat us. Tapper to the mound. Waddell fires over to first, and Carroll is retired. It remains 0-0. Brandon Waddell gives up no runs in his first inning pitching for the New York Mets. Man, you guys are with all sorts of references tonight. I've been told I look like 5 or 6 different things. Y'all are wild tonight. Wild. Debo, how's it going? Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna sleep no problem tonight. Feel like that's like an old chainmail letter that I used to get. Like, so for those of you who remember like the beginning days of email, like when it was like new, and there was like all this chainmail stuff that went around, I was like, I don't know, middle school to high school age. I had no idea like what was real, what wasn't real, all that sort of stuff. It's like that stuff used to scare me like crazy when I was a kid. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. How's it going, Primsby? Yeah, you guys are like wild tonight. What's going on? It is 0-0 going to the bottom of the third inning here. Mets are hosting the Arizona Diamondbacks. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. Talking all things New York Mets, baseball, anything, everything you guys want to talk about. Also a little bit of life if you want. We're on the way to 300 subscribers. All right. Once was fine, Debo. Spamming. Not fine. Not fine. There's already a bunch of things living in the walls of this place, so we're just going to give you a little break. A little break, and we'll see if you can be normal after that. Is overly complex rounders, yeah. What about cricket? It's kind of there's like elements of cricket too, if you know cricket a little bit. So. Make a bold prediction for Soto: 270, 22 home runs, 75 RBIs. Hope you're wrong. Oh, Soto's up. We're gonna bring out Rally Pig for Juan Soto again, though. Here's the thing. I hope you're wrong in the one sense for sure, but I also think it just doesn't it's the rising tide with Soto here. So he's definitely still stressing. I'm not in panic mode about Soto at all. I think if we're like 2 more weeks down the road and we're not seeing some progress going, then I think for sure then we could start to talk about that a little bit more. But I'm not overly worried about Soto yet. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the good thing is the Mets are winning. So the Mets are winning without Soto hitting, which means this is a pretty good ball club without Soto. Oh, Soto hits this one, but not quite deep enough. Almost to the warning track. It got a little oohing and ahhing out of the crowd, but not quite enough to get out. Cardinals are hot. Yeah, well, but so here's the thing. I saw this stat, like the Mets face the easiest. They have like the easiest strength of schedule to start the season. Well, it's because they've beaten all these teams played. Like, you know, so we're gonna find out if the Cardinals had a really bad series or like who the real Cardinals are, I think, next. There's just not a team. The only team that I don't really want to face is the Dodgers. Every other team, it's like I feel like we could win a series consistently against most every team. I think we could beat the Dodgers in the series. I just don't think we could consistently beat the Dodgers. Sigurd Glock. It got you. It got you, Frimsby. Pete Alonso at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count here. Appreciate everybody hanging out and being with us here tonight. I'm probably going Sig, but if I'm only allowed one. Pete rips that one, but right to the shortstop. Lewis, I played soccer in high school for like 2 years. I was a goalie for 2 years, but I don't really follow soccer much at all. So I'm aware of like Messi because we're near Miami. So there's lots of Miami jerseys and Messi jerseys everywhere. First pitch to Vientos here is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. I don't hate soccer, but I don't really ever sit and watch it. You're a goalie too? Yeah, so I was goalie. I'll tell you my fun soccer story here during the commercial break here. It's 1-0 pitch to Vientos. Vientos rips it. No doubt. It's gone. Out of here. Home run. Swaggy Marky V. I think he has earned the cleanup spot. What do you guys think? That's going to be 1-0 New York Mets, and Rally Pig comes through. Just when we thought the inning was dead and over, here comes Swaggy Marky V with a home run. It is 1-0 New York Mets. Vientos has been just looking better and better over the last week. Yep. There you go. Swaggy with the Rally Pig home run. So there we go. I like it. The Mets are out to a 1-0 lead. That should definitely help Brandon Waddell. Starling Marte is at the plate. Yep, thank you, Rally Pig. So Rally Pig can now go. Rally Pig is 1 for 2, 1 run. Got to keep Rally Pig's stats updated here for the day. Bouncer, how's it going? So Mets just got a 1-0 lead on a Mark Vientos home run. I mean, I'm just surprised it didn't go further than it did. Marte grounds it to short. He's gonna be out at first. I'll tell you guys my soccer story here. And we'll take it 1-0 lead for the Mets. All right. So this is my soccer. This is how I got recruited to play soccer in high school. So when we did in gym class. This was my junior year in gym class, and I had just moved. Like I was brand new to the school, so like nobody really knew me, didn't have any friends. Super like not social, didn't know what I was doing or whatever. But anyway, so in gym class we played indoor soccer, and it was jocks versus the geeks, and I'll let you guess which team I was on. Hint, not the jocks. And it's like all of the all-star, like literally all the kids who did like track and football and all those kids against like all the kids who did math and science. And so we did indoor soccer, and it's like a 30-minute gym class or whatever. And of course, our team couldn't come close to scoring at all. But I was the goalie because I was the only one stupid enough to try to play indoor soccer goalie in gym class against the entire team of the jocks. And well, in that one game, we ended up tying 0-0 because I shut out the jocks like single-handedly. So I single-handedly shut out the entire jock team in indoor soccer. And hold on one second here. And so then afterwards, they came up. A couple of the guys came up, and I was in some of the same classes with them, but they were like, hey, we're just kind of wondering, we're starting up a soccer team. Would you maybe be interested in coming to try out for the soccer team with us? It was like probably as awkward as I sounded to girls when I tried to ask them out on dates. That's how awkward it was, So that's how I got involved with soccer. Is I shut out the jocks in indoor soccer, and then it was myself and another kid. We were basically the two goalies for the junior and the senior year. It wasn't even like a varsity sport. It was just like a brand new rec league that we started. Didn't have any adult coaches. We were all like self-coached, and we went out and got everything scheduled. So that's how I got into soccer. And we weren't great. We were not a great team, but fast forward 20 years, that soccer team that we started made a run to state not this past year, but like 2 seasons ago. So and I was part of the foundation of that entire soccer program, which is now that soccer program in the town now runs from like preschool all the way through varsity. Hundreds of kids play soccer, and I was part of the first team ever. So that's my soccer story. All right. Anyway, back to the game here. Brandon Waddell is pitching. We're top of the fourth. Grichuk is at the plate with a 1-2 strike count. The Mets are up 1-0 on a blast by Swaggy Mark Vientos. Brandon Waddell is making his debut for the Mets. It's actually his first time pitching in the majors since 2021. So 22, 23, 24. He's had 3 years since then in the minors, and he got the call up to at least pitch in this game here today. My name, how's it going? I don't do much for video games. I don't have time. If I'm going to do any sort of video game with a little bit of spare time, and even it's not really a video game per se, but I would play chess. That would be if I'm going to sit and play a game, that's probably the game that I'm playing. It's chess. All right, here's the 2-2 pitch to Grichuk. Pulls it down to third. Vientos fields it, throws it over to Pete Alonso at first, and there's going to be one out in the top of the fourth inning. All right, appreciate you guys being here. We are on our way to 300 subscribers. So if you haven't yet done that, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're MetropoliFins, YouTube's smallest New York Mets and Miami Dolphins channel. My name is Craig, covering the game here live for you tonight. We are on both vertical and horizontal live stream, depending on what you prefer. We keep dabbling with some things. I got a Amazon gift card for my birthday, so I think I'm going to put that towards trying to upgrade the camera for the horizontal stream. The vertical stream seems pretty good, at least in comparison, because I'm streaming on a MacBook Pro, but it's probably 10 years old. by now. Let me see if I can find a date on it. Almost. It's 2018. So 7, 8 years old. So it's definitely, it doesn't have the best camera on it. Check swing by Suarez. And they called it strike 3. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. Yeah, the one thing that they're saying that Waddell is doing is just throwing strikes. All right, this one is going to be lined for a single into center field. Tyrone Taylor does that. That is Josh Naylor with a 2-out base hit here. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. It's 1-0 New York Mets here in the top of the 4th inning. Of course, the Mets have started out the season on fire, and they keep finding ways to win. I'm just hoping the Mets are going to put up a bunch of runs later in this game like they have in the previous 2 games. Don't rob me. I actually get to sit and enjoy this game. We will be with you. We will be here for tomorrow's game because it's a 1 o'clock game tomorrow. So that works with the baseball schedule because my son's potentially his last game of the season. Potentially, if they lose or if they don't win by enough, tomorrow could be the final game of the season. And we don't know, we're waiting on finding out if he's going to make All-Stars or not. We have high hopes, but no expectations on that. So tomorrow could be the last day that I ever am a Little League coach. It's possible. Never know what the future is going to bring. And Moreno's going to ground that one through the hole. So another 2-out single. Diamondbacks are going to have runners on first and second. So Waddell's facing his first little bit of trouble here tonight. So there's 2 on, 2 out, top of the 4th. Mets are up 1-0. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is at the plate. He popped out in his first at-bat. All right, here is the first pitch to Gurriel. He rips it foul, but not by much. All right, so no balls, 1 strike to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Brandon Waddell pitching for the Mets with 2 runners on, trying to get out of a jam here. Let's see what he can do. Gurriel uses his timeout. This is my last of my Fever Tree ginger ale. This is not sponsored, but do you guys like ginger ale that's like a little more natural? It's got a good ginger kick to it. I highly recommend these Fever Tree ginger ales. That pitch is high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still have a little bit of this cold. It's not anywhere near as bad as it was like a week ago, but they're doing play-by-play on a kid eating a hot dog, which is always hilarious. All right, here's the 2-1 pitch to Gurriel. I love our announcer booth. Swing and a miss there by Gurriel. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Waddell is 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. Let's see. Can he figure out how to put him away? Gurriel locks it out, but Tyrone Taylor's going to be there and put it away, and he's going to get out of the inning. We're going to go to the bottom of the fourth inning. And the Mets continue to lead 1-0, their only run on a Mark Vientos home run. Due up for the Mets this inning will be Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez, and Luis Angel Acuna. So those are the three. Continuing to pitch will be Corbin Burns. The final game of the series will be tomorrow. I believe it's 1:10 is the start time. So, but we'll be live tomorrow. So make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. That way you'll be notified when we go live. Super excited about that. And then I think we'll be covering Friday and Saturday. We might be on a run here. We might be able to cover quite a few games in a row. And then we won't know if there's more baseball next week. Okay, so Thursday, yes, we'll cover that. Friday, 8:15 p.m. because we're going to St. Louis. Yes, we'll cover that. Saturday, 2:15 p.m. Yes, we'll cover that. Sunday, 2:15 p.m. That's questionable. I don't know if we'll cover. We might cover the start of the Sunday game. That might be, or we might just not cover it at all. I'm unsure on Sunday because I do have a commitment at like 4:00. So you guys let me know would you rather me come on for like an hour and a half on Sunday and then go, or would you rather not? And then next week, Monday and Tuesday for sure, the Mets are playing late night games out in Arizona. So we'll be covering all of those. I have no trouble covering the late night games like any of those West Coast games, no problems. And the good news is there's only like 3.5 weeks left of school. So that's going to give me even more flexibility. And depending on what happens with baseball, maybe even a little more flexibility with that. But once school is out, I have significantly more flexibility in my schedule. So we are headed to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's sunset time. D-Rails, how's it going? Appreciate you being here tonight. I'm hoping I'm not the jinx for the Mets because I want to see the Mets put up like a 5 spot here. First pitch to Jeff McNeil is a strike down the middle. One nothing Mets. Mets got their lead on a Mark Vientos home run. I think I'm content. I've said for a while, like Vientos wasn't ready for the 4-hole yet, but it looks like even though his batting average isn't there yet, the way he's seeing the ball and hitting the ball, I think I'm comfortable having Vientos hitting behind Alonso at this point. It's also going to mean he's going to get up with runners on base a lot too, which also helps. You know, a lot of times when we talk about protection, we talk about the person hitting behind you as protection, but you also can protect batters with people hitting in front of you. So it's like if you knew, say, theoretically, that Lindor, Soto, Alonso would be bases loaded every time the number 4 hitter comes up, that's protection from the front. 2 balls, 1 strike is the pitch. That's inside. Almost got him there. 3 balls, 1 strike. Obviously, it's super early for McNeil. It's only a handful of games, but he's still keeping his batting average over 300. I would love to see McNeil hitting like between 280 to 310 with a 4+ on base percentage. McNeil gets the walk here, so there is a leadoff walk here. Excuse me. Coming up is Francisco Alvarez. And maybe it's just me, but man, I just like how this lineup looks so much more filled out with McNeil and Alvarez in it. And again, it's no shade on any of the guys that were playing in the positions, but it's like, it's a night like tonight where you want to give Brandon Nimmo a day off. Like a lot of times it'd be like, oh man, then you'd have to have a Zokar and Tyrone Taylor both playing in the outfield or whatever. It's like everything looks good. Everybody's doing well, D-Rose. I gave the Little League update. But I'll give here's the brief synopsis. We lost game 1 in the bottom of the final inning. We had an early lead. We lost it. We came back, and then we lost the lead again. And then yesterday we played the smackdown on the Mets, 12-1. So we have to win tomorrow, and we have to win by like 4 or 5 runs, and we have to not give up a lot of runs. It's a lot of different things going on tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Alvarez drives it to deep left center field, but again, not deep enough. That's about the third ball tonight that looked good off the bat, but not quite out far enough. So, by the way, for my son, for those of you following his individual stats, he got his batting average back up over 700 for the season yesterday. We scored so many runs, so the game ended early by 10-run rule. And but he had a single and a walk in his one. So he was 1 for 1 with a walk yesterday. Acuna hits a roller to second, tosses to short, but he's able to beat it out. Thank you, Darren. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's like obviously we want to. So it's starting with 28 teams. By tomorrow, after pool play is done, 7 teams will be left and basically moving on to quarterfinals if we make it. So if you've ever cheered against the Yankees, you're going to cheer against them double tomorrow. Double cheer against the Yankees. Major League and Little League Yankees. Appreciate it, Rels. So we'll update you guys on Friday night game. Justin, how's it going? Yeah, I mean, it's too bad we didn't win the first game because we should have. But the fact that they just came back, that's the first time I've ever had a team my son's ever been a part of winning a game by 10-run rule. He's lost games by 10-run rule, but it's a high fly ball out to right field. And Tyrone Taylor is retired. That's going to reset the lineup, so Lindor will be leading off for the top of the next inning. So we're going to the top of the 5th. It is 1-0. New York Mets on a Mark Vientos home run. So it's, yeah, I mean, technically speaking, it's in our hands. It's like we control our own destiny, but so do the Yankees, right? So all the Yankees have to do tomorrow is win, and they're in. Because if they win, none of the tiebreakers matter because they'll be 3-0. They'll beat in every team in the pool. If we win, though, there's scenarios where any one of the 3 teams that goes 2-1 could be in. And we're just kind of expecting the Reds are going to beat the Mets. But of course, if the Mets could beat the Reds, that would take them out of the equation, and then it becomes a little bit easier. But basically, we want to win like 10-0 tomorrow. That's probably highly unlikely that would happen, but that would be our ideal result. And if they win, then the next game is on Monday. If they lose, then the season is over, and we just play the waiting game to see if we get the call for All-Stars. So it's been fun, though. It has been fun. It's been a good season. And my son also yesterday, he hit 80 stolen bases on the season in 20 games. So watch out, Luis Angel Acuna. He's coming. What Jason Worth said about Mets fans. I think I maybe saw something on it, but I'm going to look it up really quick. Being a Mets fan is choosing eternal pain and heartache. Well, yeah, I mean, isn't that true, though? Jason Worth. So, but I mean, essentially what he's saying is be a front runner and don't stick with your team. Like, don't pick a team and stick with them. Like, I don't know, whatever. It's just good old baseball smack talk, I guess. But all right, top of the 5th here. Brandon Waddell still pitching. Barossa squares to bunt but takes the pitch for a strike. I see the rest of the quote where he said, yeah, sorry, that was what the article. I thought it was, if you live in New York, you have a choice. You have an obvious choice. You can be a fan of one of the most storied franchises, one of the greatest franchises in sports history, or the Mets. I have no respect for people that pick the Mets. Is that the quote that you mean, Rels? Probably contact lenses. Contact lenses. I got to throw them in before the game. Too much glare off my glasses. There's a ball in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Barossa. How's it going, Jonathan? Cleveland fan. You love Lindor. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, though. That you guys have done okay, too. You know, you got a good season going here. But we do. I mean, I think Lindor is getting to the point where he's better than I think most Mets fans ever hoped he could have been. And honestly, like because of how he's doing and how the Mets are doing in general, it's taken a lot of heat off of Soto and giving Soto time to adjust because obviously there's a swing and a miss there by Barossa. It's the first out in the top of the 5th and the third strikeout by Waddell. Yep. No, it's good. And what I'm happy for Lindor is he's getting off to a good start to the season. West Philly. I don't think Pete's going to leave New York. I think if Pete goes somewhere else, he'll go to the Yankees. That's just my take on it. There's a ground out there. You know, I do think that if Pete goes anywhere that's not a major market, that's a major misstep in his career. Yep, for sure, Jonathan. So, you know, but that's just my gut says if he were to leave the Mets, he would go to the Yankees. He's not allowed. Where do you guys think though? Like legit, if Pete doesn't re-sign with the Mets this year, we're assuming he's going to opt out. Where do you see him going? I just think like if he goes chasing the money, there's so much money from endorsements that you get in the New York market that you lose if you go anywhere else. And so like there's a big picture to Pete, which is if you stay in the New York market, this has popped up to short center field. Soto's actually going to make the catch. He comes in. It's in a 1-2-3 inning for Waddell. So this is looking good, especially for coming up as a spot. It's not really a starter. The Athletics. I'll tell you what, that Athletics team though, guys, if you haven't looked for a while, like they've got Mets fans kind of a joke. Yanks love Goldschmidt. Yeah. Jonathan says San Francisco. I think if the Mets win the World Series this year, which is a huge if with a whole bunch of things that would have to happen. But I think if he does, then I don't see any reason why the Mets don't figure out like a 5-year deal for Pete. 5-year, $200 million deal, assuming the Mets would win the World Series this year. As like it's like a thank you to Pete. Keep this group together and try to win 1 or 2 more with this core group. That's kind of what my gut says. The best path for Pete getting paid and staying in New York with the Mets is the Mets win the World Series this year. I think if they come up short, it could be a little different. So, by the way, I don't know if the Athletics record is still over 500, but they have been on it. And there is also a no-hitter alert going on in the Kansas City Royals Tampa Bay Rays game. It's 3-0 Kansas City in the bottom of the 6th with a no-hitter alert. So maybe what we'll do, we'll keep our eye on that. I'm a big fan of following no hitter stuff. So let me get a little. I always like to know who's pitching. Let's make this a little bit bigger so I can see that. So Noah Cameron is pitching for the Kansas City Royals. This is his major league debut, guys. This is Noah Cameron's major league debut. I saw something about this kid because he's from St. Joseph, Missouri, and I've got friends that live in St. Joe. He's making a major league debut, and he's pitching a no hitter in his major league debut. Lindor at the plate for the Mets here. So we're gonna keep an eye. If you're on the horizontal, I'm gonna throw that up on the screen just so you can follow along a little bit with that. Ooh, hold on. Lindor started off the game with a leadoff double. He's ahead in the count here. 2 balls and no strikes. We're in the bottom of the fifth. Lindor's 1 for 2. His batting average hanging right around the 300 mark, where it's been for the last week and a half. That's just on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. Let's go to. And there's a base hit pulled through the hole for Francisco Lindor. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on this Rays-Royals game. Try to cover a little bit of that for you. But he gets Junior Caminero swinging, and so he has a no-hitter through 6. So regardless of how this game plays out, congrats to Noah Cameron on an amazing Major League debut. The Phillies are willing to move Harper to the outfield for Alonso. Ooh. Is Harper willing to move to the outfield for Alonso? All right. Oh, Juan Soto's up, so Rally Pig is coming out. Rally Pig is 1 for 2 today. So we bring out Rally Pig when we want to score some runs. And right now, notably, we just bring them up when Juan Soto comes up. We're trying to be slump busters for Juan Soto here. All right, here's the 0-1 pitch to Juan Soto. Chopper to Burns. Barely scooped out of the dirt. Yeah, Lindor should have slid. He would have been safe if he had slid. That was just a drop ball. Yeah. Yeah, I think if Lindor had slid and run hard and slid, he would have been safe there. All right, Soto replaces Lindor at first. Pete Alonso's at the plate now with 1 out. Even top players in Major League Baseball can kind of have those mental mistakes every once in a while. Fouled off, out of play. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Pete Alonso here. From the bottom of the fifth, Mets are up 1-0. That's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. All right, 2 balls and 1 strike to Pete Alonso at the plate. Pete grounds that one foul down the third base line. All right, here's the 2-2 pitch to Pete Alonso here. That's in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pete continues to just have a really good eye for the ball. Really good eye for the ball. Let's go Mets and let's go Rally Pig here. Let's see what we can do. Throw over to first. Soto dives back in. Remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. Soto was going on the play, but Alonso fouls it off. Like Soto left so early on that. All right, still 3 balls and 2 strikes. I feel like the game has really slowed down the last few minutes here. Pickoffs and foul balls and everything. All right. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Pete once again. And another throw over to first. That was the third disengagement. So Soto gets second base anyway. So remember, you can only throw over twice. And if you throw over the third time and you don't get them, it's a balk and you go to third. I don't like the rule. I think it's a stupid rule, but it's the rule. So Soto does what he needs, and then Pete ends up taking ball 4. So it doesn't matter. And guess who is up? The hero of the day so far, Swaggy Marky V. Mark Vientos is coming to the plate, responsible for the only Mets run. So let's see. With 1 out, runners on first and second, they're going to do a meeting at the mound with the pitching coach for the Diamondbacks. All right. Here we go. Vientos is coming to the plate. First pitch is a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Mark Vientos. All right, let's get some baseball action. It's just so slow. So many meetings at the mound and foul balls and other stuff. Let's get baseball. That's just outside, I guess. 1 ball, 1 strike. Burns is not getting the calls tonight. Soto on second. Pete Alonso on first. 1 out. That's low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mets are up 1-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Looking to expand this lead here. Vientos is going to use his timeout here. My goodness. Just slow. All right. Here's 2-1 pitch to Mark Vientos. Just low. 3 balls, 1 strike. I'll tell you what. A Diamondbacks manager's coach is going to get thrown out of the game here soon. They are chirping from the Diamondbacks dugout. And I understand why. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Vientos. Vientos pops it up. It's in foul territory. And is not able to make the catch. It is windy, so Vientos got bailed out. If you're going to swing 3-1, you got to drive a ball better than that. So Vientos bailed out. Let's see if he can take advantage of that. Soundwave, I agree. We got to bust open here. We need to get runs. You got Corbin Burns on the rope. A grounder to short, throws to second, and on to first, and that does it. So Corbin Burns gets out of trouble. I think I'm the jinx, guys. I think I'm the Mets jinx. I'm the reason why. Because they had no problem capitalizing the last 2 days when I didn't stream, but I am the Mets jinx. It remains 1-0 Mets. We're going to the top of the 6th inning here. We are also still keeping our eye on this no-hitter in progress. Kansas City Royals have a 3-0 lead on the Tampa Bay Rays. By the way, the Royals got off to a rough start, but they've gotten all the way back to 15-15. Do we have a hit in this game? We might. It says, yeah, Curtis Mead breaks up the no-hitter. Curtis Mead breaks up the no-hitter for Tampa Bay Rays. That being said, Noah Cameron making his major league debut goes 6 1/3 no-hit ball in his major league debut. And now you got to get him out of the game because there's 2 runners on. He just walked the guy too. So kudos, Noah Cameron. Kudos to you for having an awesome major league debut. Arushan, how's it going? We're on commercial break right now, so you are not missing any of the action. Yeah, they're saying amount is they got to be taking them out here now. All right, let's quickly do a score check. Why are you crying, Arushan? Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry for me, Arushan Reddy. All right, quick score checks on all the games. Earlier today, the Cardinals beat the Reds 6-0. Now they are beating the Reds 9-1 in game 2 of a doubleheader. So Cardinals starting to wake up a little bit. That's who the Mets are facing here soon. So it's not going to get any easier for the Mets. Teams are going to give them the best shot. Cubs lead the Pirates 3-2. That's bottom 7th. Phillies over the Nationals 6-2. That's going into 8th. The Royals are up 3-0 on the Rays. They are doing a pitching change there. Again, congrats to Noah Cameron for going 6 1/3 innings of no-hit ball in his major league debut. The Orioles are leading the Yankees 5-3. Red Sox over the Blue Jays 4-0. Our game, of course, is 1-0 Mets. Brewers White Sox tied at 2, bottom of the 3rd. Athletics have a 1-0 lead over the Rangers, trying to get back over 500 for the Athletics. That is top of the third, and then games in the books. Tigers beat the Astros 7-4. Rockies beat the Braves 2-1. Dodgers beat the Marlins 12-7. Mariners beat the Angels 9-3. Padres over the Giants 5-3. And Guardians beat the Twins 4-2. It's a fly ball to center field. Tyrone Taylor makes the catch out there. And that's the first out in the 6th inning. Oh, sorry to hear that, Arushan. Yeah. Well, I don't even know where to look up that stat, but team runner stranded. Yeah, Waddell is looking good. I'll tell you what, he's going to maybe earn himself a another call up sometime in the future. He's not going to stay with the team, but I mean I'm very impressed. If this is just what we're getting because of our whole pitching lab, I'm all aboard. And it just is so nice because then you don't have to rush up any of these minor league guys who could use maybe a little more development. That's high. 2 balls and 1 strike to Grichuk here. Let's see if I can find this. Oh, it's bad. Well, I don't know that. Is this for? It's actually all right. Grichuk is retired here. Batting average with runners in scoring position is not. It's not quite as bad as I thought. Yankees are number 1. They're hitting 269. Doesn't show the whole thing, but the Mets slot in 12th in the majors with runners in scoring position hitting 248. But it sure feels a whole lot worse than that. Grounder down to third. Vientos fields it, throws to Pete. And there's another quick inning. 7 in a row retired by Waddell. 20v1. Are you fighting a silverback gorilla? So all I know is the 20v1. So, or are you the silverback gorilla fighting 20 dudes? Either way, I wish you well in your fight. All right, it is 6. The bottom of the 6, 1-0. I wish it was 6-0 Mets, but it is 1-0 Mets going to the bottom of the 6. Make sure you stay tuned for the 7th. We're gonna raid another creator. I found somebody too, by the way. I found a Diamondback streamer, so I am very excited about that. It's hard to find streamers. I only found one other Diamondback streamer. He's got a nice little background. Lots of football helmets in his background and stuff, but we're going to be doing that. Oh, Debo, we tried. Apparently it didn't work. We tried, and yet you still spam. Don't do that. Mohammed, should you major in medicine? Man, I have no idea. I can't answer that question for you, but I would just ask questions like, what's your purpose? What are you wanting to do? What can Mendoza to bring them in? That's a great question. I think the Mets need to. It's hard to say because you don't. When you say go up and be patient and work the count, you don't want them to take 2 pitches as like 2 good pitches and get behind no balls and 2 strikes. But I do feel like we're maybe sometimes a little too aggressive with base runners on. And I don't know if the Mets should consider a little more situational baseball. Like, yeah, like more like a bunt sort of thing. The problem is so many guys just don't know how to bunt anymore. They've just lost how to do it. They don't know how to bunt. So it's start Starling Marte, Jeff McNeil, and Francisco Alvarez do up this inning here. I mean, this is why Corbin Burns is Corbin Burns, by the way, too, because despite not having his best stuff and walking a lot of batters, it's still just a 1-0 game. Marte pops out. That's going to be the first out in the bottom of the 6th inning. McNeil coming to the plate. Mohammed, back to whether you should pursue medicine. I mean, how do you want to impact the world? How do you want to serve other people? That's the question I would ask. Is that something? Are you all in to help people and help people get healthy and even avoid using medicine, like just adopting healthy lifestyles? If that's what you're about, I think that's a good direction for you to consider. No balls, 1 strike to McNeil. 1 out here, bottom of the 6th inning. McNeil grounds that one foul. McNeil is 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. Batting average still over 300. McNeil got the Bruce bolts on, got the green grip, and the torpedo bat. So 2025 baseball, that's for sure. All those things going. Buy me some peanuts and crackers. That one's in the dirt. McNeil lays off. One ball, 2 strikes is the count here. All right, here's the 1-2 pitch to McNeil. That's going to be inside as well. Burns has definitely been going at his knees. That's where he's been attacking. So it's going to be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss by McNeil. Second strikeout of the night for Burns. All right, Francisco Alvarez, it's time for you to just send one out to the bleachers. Send one out to the bleachers. Yeah, Darren, this is the old school versus the new school, because like the analytics say you're more likely to score a run if you go for the home run. However, analytics do not take care of psychology of players and teams. And I can just tell you, knowing that big leaguers are just little leaguers who've grown up, there is something so demoralizing about playing small ball when you're on defense. You know, stealing bases, moving up on wild pitches, bunting, all those things, because you can be like all of a sudden a walk is like a triple, right? And it's like if so I do think, I mean, I think baseball, and that's not just a Mets thing. I think baseball has so the umpire just punched Alvarez out on strike 2. But it's just 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alvarez here. That's kind of a funny exchange. The crowd was booing, but the players were all smiling. Alvarez checks the swing. There's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last night in the Little League game, we had the opposite when my son was pitching. He had struck the guy out. It was strike 3, and the umpire only called it strike 2. But the other team was really good about it, and they said, no, that was strike 3. So Justin, yeah, our dishwasher is so long. Takes so long to clean. It's probably like on the wrong setting. But yes, ours is multiple hours. That's a walk to Alvarez. So fifth walk by Corbin Burns and a 2-out base runner for the Mets. Kaylee, how's it going? Yeah, no delivery. No delivery right now until we have a second phone. I might just make a ride along video, not a live stream. I might do a ride along video soon. So we'll see. First pitch to Acuna is a strike on the inside corner. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Acuna. There's no way Alvarez is running here. Just foul. Almost got that one to drop in. Jonathan says his dishwasher takes 3.5 hours and strike 3. Psych! I should probably just put it on the faster setting. I'm like, why is our water bill so high? It's like that. And like all of our kids taking showers every single day. I'm like, that's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Acuna. Our dryer takes like 4 cycles to dry clothes too. I think there's a bunch of lint built up somewhere in there, so I need to get that checked out as well. All right, here's a 1-2 pitch to Luis Angel Acuna. Mets are up 1-0, bottom of the 6th with a runner on. 2 outs. Burns is going to step off here. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And Acuna chases one. Not a good swing for Acuna. But that's going to retire the side. So it's going to be 1-0 Mets going to the top of the 7th. And I'm pretty sure I am the Mets jinx. I'm their offensive jinx. It's not Rally Pig. It's me. I am the jinx. All right. So here's what we're going to do. It is the 7th inning. So we're going to go raid another creator, another streamer. I found someone who's doing this. Oh, they're subscriber only mode. Why did you do that? You weren't before. This is, they keep messing with me, all these streamers. They don't want to deal with all the crazies. But let me refresh, see if, because it wasn't on subscriber only mode before. I hope it is. All right, hold on. We're going to find somebody else, even if it's one of our regulars. We're going to find one of our... Find somebody. It's got to be somebody. Even if they're not like on camera. It's like, let's see what this one is. I had a streamer all set and ready to go. And they changed to subscriber only mode. We just did you. Let's see. What's this one? There's like a lot of people who are just like showing like the game changer and stuff, but they're not actually streaming the game. All right. This is a non-Diamondback stream. This is just a... Man, this is so hard. So hard to find people streaming that we haven't visited before. We're going to keep trying. I'm going to keep looking here. We'll find somebody. Leaf and August? All right, I'll look that one up in a second here. I'm just going to refresh in case there's somebody. All right. Josh Naylor coming to the plate for the Diamondbacks. Waddell is still pitching. All right, I'm going to look it up. Leaf in a gust. Yeah, I know. I bring in the Stanek. Oh, they're all right. Yeah, I don't know why that didn't come up. Don't know why they didn't come up. So we're going to do that. Thank you, Jonathan. That one didn't come up at because they have D-backs instead of Diamondbacks. Maybe I just need to search for Mets live and then just see what we can find. All right, sounds good. Let me get that set up. We're gonna go. We'll do our raid here in just a second. So when we do these raids, just strike out there by Waddell. 4 1/3 scoreless for Waddell. That's going to be a great job in his 2025 and New York Mets debut. Great job by Waddell. All right, so hopefully this will work. I know it doesn't always work for you guys to follow, but we're going to raid. Jonathan's already in the room. I see him. I see Jonathan in the room. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to post the link here. Let me get everything. So this is perfect because we're going to commercial break anyway. So I invite you to go over and rate, say hi, like the stream. Please be positive. Please be uplifting. There we go. The link is posted. Hit the like. Only 4 people watching. Let's go flood them. Let's go share some love. Thanks, Jonathan, for the connection. If you like the vibe, then go ahead, hit subscribe. So, but you guys click that link, go on over, raid, go raid, say hi, share the love. There you go. There's a shout out. Yeah. There we go. Good raid. Good way to go, Soundwave. Sharon. Awesome. You guys rock. I didn't stream the last 2 games, and then tonight the Mets can't score at all either. I'm the jinx. Hey, it's Ryan Stanek. Ryan Stanek is here. Darren, you were right. Ryan Stanek pitches the same time as I stream. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Moreno. So, like we did, congrats to that Royals pitcher. Also, a huge congrats to Waddell. 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs. Stanek at the Disco. Yeah. So we have Min Panic, Max Kranick. But Stanek at the Disco. I like that. I mean, he looks like he could be living back in the 70s, 60s, 70s. That's a grounder to third. Vientos makes the throw over to Pete. That's 2 outs. So top of the 7th. Oh, and guess what? Now they're talking about the Royals debut. All right. Mets are trying to get one more out here. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. There's a grounder towards the middle that's going to make it through. 2 out single. Diamondbacks have been good at doing that here tonight. Hi, Rashawn. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. All right. Barossa at the plate. That's a liner down the right field line. Soto's chasing. Gurriel's going to hold at third. It's going to be a 2-out double. And Stanek. Panic Stanek. This is like every game that I stream is this. In the games I don't stream, the Mets score 19 runs. Absolutely destroyed his bat, too, but had enough to muscle it out to right field to get the double. See you later, Rashawn. Yeah, so Justin, I know there's a group in Orlando, and I believe it's led by Barry Larkin, or part of it, that's trying to get a Major League Baseball team. Sounds good, Arushan. So if you want to, they're trying to create this team called the Orlando Dreamers. They're trying to get them. Sorry, that's a really long link, Justin. Wow, that didn't even. Hold on, that's too long. Split the link. Let me find it. You can just go OrlandoDreamers.com. We'll just do that way. Make sure I have that right. There. Ignore that first travesty of a attempted link. Just going to delete that. So Barry Larkin is part of this ownership group that's trying to get a Major League Baseball team to Orlando under the name Orlando Dreamers. So there's some talk of it being the actual Rays coming, other talks of an expansion team. That's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Perdomo. Stanek's trying to get out of this inning. Mets are only up 1-0, so it's definitely not comfortable here. So yeah, so check out OrlandoDreamers.com if you want to learn a little more about it. Fly ball, foul, and out of play. Definitely just want to end this inning here. Don't want to load the bases. Don't want to give up any runs here. I think it's Lindor leading off for the Mets. So there's a looper to left field. McNeil dove for it. McNeil did everything he could to get there. It's 2-1 Arizona. Stanek is just not having it. The Diamondbacks take the lead 2-1. And will the Mets' lack of being able to get runners home come back and hurt them once again? The first lead in the series for the Diamondbacks. They pick off Perdomo, but he beats the throw to second. Stanek should have thrown to second in front of the runner instead of behind the runner. All right, so now there's a runner on second with 2 outs. Stanek just is not seemingly. I don't understand why they keep bringing him in high leverage situations. Like, the whole point is, like, you do it once, maybe try it again a second time. But now he's done it 3 times in a row. Stop bringing him in these positions. You bring him in, like, he can't be trusted right now. So I don't know. All right. Tim Tawa up. First pitch, not even close. Ball 1. Yeah, I don't understand. Like, this is where Mendoza's being player friendly, I think, comes back to hurt us. Like, Stanek is not a high leverage reliever right now. Bloop to center field. Tyrone Taylor makes the play. Saves a run there. So kudos to Tyrone Taylor. And by the way, on that one that dropped in, Jeff McNeil made an amazing effort to dive for the ball and to catch it off the hop so it didn't get past him. Otherwise, it could have been easily a triple. But I just don't understand. The Ray jinxed us? No, it's just me. I'm just the jinx, Sharon. I'm the jinx because I keep streaming all these games where they bring Ryan Stanek in, which I guess you know what that means. Ryan Stanek is the jinx. Tyrone Taylor is going to be leading off here. I appreciate you being here, Sharon. I do appreciate you being here. I just don't understand. Like, why would you keep bringing him in a high leverage situation until he's proven? There's obviously something wrong. Don't have him work those things out in 1-run games and in save situations. Once can be a fluke. Twice is a pattern. Now 3 is like, yeah, I just don't understand it. And I think Mendoza's trying to, he's trying to be player friendly. He's trying to let the players know, like, hey, look, if you mess up, I'm going to give you another chance. And that's fine. But this isn't the time. The time to pitch Stanek right now is when you're winning 19-5. That's when you pitch Stanek. Redman, don't be sick and tired of Carlos Mendoza. Mets are going to win the game. Darren's got confidence. I mean, I still feel good. We've got Tyrone Taylor, Lindor, and Soto coming up. And we're the home team, so we still have 3 more hits. So you're not blaming me. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, that's the one time having Jeff McNeil in left maybe isn't ideal, but I mean, he made a great effort on it. All right, well, it is Soto is due up, so we are going to do that. Well, the problem is the Mets bullpen is thin. The bullpen is thin for the Mets too, so you've got to do that. So you're not blaming me. I'll blame me. You don't have to blame me. I'll blame me. Actually, it's amazing how similar those 2 hits were. Well, the one that McNeil didn't catch, the one Tyrone Taylor did, they were very similar spots. I mean, McNeil missed that by a foot. You're 1 foot away from getting out of that inning. All right, Tyrone Taylor leads off. First pitch is a ball. Really just looking to get a base runner here. KM, I've been to like a driving range a couple times. That was when I was way younger. Yeah, we were rocking that. We had a lot of crazy, weird people coming through tonight, so it was fun. How you doing, Swoko? Better not see him again, Red Man. Well, I mean, you're going to see him again. There's not going to be a choice. Hey, I appreciate it so much. That's high. 3 balls, 1 strike. Just so everybody knows the schedule for the next couple of days, we will be live tomorrow afternoon for the 1 o'clock game. We will be live Friday night, and we'll be live Saturday afternoon. Mets are playing the Diamondbacks right now. Tyrone Taylor bounces it. The second baseman fields it, but no one's covering first. So Tyrone Taylor's going to get it. It's going to be a hit. So Swoko, no, I actually live in Florida, so I'm far away. I'm hoping that if we can get this channel up and running where it's actually generating income, then I could get to like anytime the Mets play the Rays or the Marlins, that I could get over to those games. I mean, I could even drive to Atlanta. It's like 9 hours to Atlanta, but I would do that if we can get to the point that we're monetized and then I'm actually pulling income off of it. I can't imagine Stanix coming out the next inning, Red Man. Mets are playing the Diamondbacks. They won yesterday big. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, Swoko. That one's in the dirt. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Francisco Lindor at the plate. Throw over to first, non-competitive. Nobody would want to trade for Ryan Stanek. Relievers are going to have ups and downs. You're not going to have a perfect bullpen all year. It's just not how it goes. Mets got to hit though. You're not going to win these games. You're not going to win games 1-0 too often. Taylor stealing. They're saying he was in and then came off the bag and got tagged out. They're going to challenge it. So he's in. He never came off the bag. Yeah, he never came off the bag. He's definitely going to be safe. Never came off the bag. So Tyrone Taylor is going to. I don't know how you missed that call. I wonder if just the weird, like the blue glove. But I mean, at least we're. I wonder if he was just he couldn't see his hand and he assumed the hand came off. That's yeah. It's a bad. There's been a couple weird umpiring things, like when Francisco Alvarez got called out on strike 2. I don't know. I think so. Here's my question: does Mendoza feel like he's in a pinch with his bullpen, and he feels like he needs to have Stanek for high leverage? I don't know. That's a strike, a high strike, but a strike. That's also a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Lindor. Yeah, thankful for challenges, Justin. I mean, I know they couldn't fix that botched triple play the other day, but I mean, that's such a huge call here when you're down by 1. The difference between a runner on second with nobody out and Lindor up. Got Lindor to pop it up here. All right, Juan Soto's at the plate. It's time for Soto to step up. Yeah, the ABS. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. All right. And Jonathan's saying Beeks blew a save for the Diamondbacks the last time he pitched. So let's see if he can do it here. The righty-lefty matchup. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously the bullpen's in trouble with injuries and stuff. And I mean, who can you trust though in that situation? I guess that's the other side of it. Because I'm assuming you want Reed Garrett for the 8th, and then Diaz for the 9th. You know, you're really short on reliable arms in the bullpen. That's kind of a problem right now. Soto lays off. 3 balls, no strikes. Soto. So here's the thing I want everybody to understand, because this is what doesn't show up in the stats. What Soto is doing here, regardless of the result, obviously we want a hit, we want an RBI. It's so important. Swings 3-0, flies it out. It's pretty deep, but not deep enough to move the runner up. That was a good swing. It's the type of swing. If you're going to swing 3-0, it's the type of swing you want. But, you know, Soto works the count there, waits to get the pitch that he wants to swing at. So, all right, Beeks is coming out. It's going to be Pete Alonso coming up. The other thing here now is because Vientos is hitting better, that should help Alonso get better pitches than maybe he would normally get. Pete already has 2 walks in the game today. We're going to have a call to the bullpen. So we are just waiting and seeing what the Mets are going to try to do here. I forgot to turn this light on. Add a little more light. Add a little more light. Make the beard look a little more red. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us here. Please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We are on the way to 300 subscribers. Our next checkpoint is 250. So we're looking for 10 more of you to hit that subscribe. Get us 250 subscribers. We're going to cover as many games as we possibly can. Arushan, back again. You come back and forth a lot. So we're on commercial break right now. Let's run through scoreboard here really quick, I guess. It's probably the best thing that we can do of games in action. The Cardinals completed a sweep of the Reds today, 6-0 and 9-1. The Royals still lead the Rays 3-0. That was a no-hitter for a while, but the Rays have gotten a couple hits now. Pirates have taken the lead over the Cubs, 4-3. Actually, that game is over. That game is over. Pirates scored 2 in the 7th to take the lead, and Pirates just retired the Cubs at the top of the ninth. So the Pirates beat the Cubs 4-3. So that's another team that's competing with the Mets for a top record. Orioles trying to hang on against the Yankees. They are leading 5-4. That's bottom 8. Red Sox, Blue Jays are tied at 6 in the 8th. Of course, in our game, the Diamondbacks have a 2-1 lead over the Mets. Mets are trying to at least tie it up here. Brewers, White Sox tied at 3 in the 6th. Athletics and Rangers tied at 1 in the 5th. And then games in the books, the Tigers beat the Astros 7-4. Rockies won, and they beat the Braves. How good is that? 2-1. Dodgers beat the Marlins 12-7. Mariners over the Angels 9-3. Padres over the Giants 5-3. Guardians beat the Twins 4-2. And Phillies beat the Nationals 7-2. Kevin Ginkel is the new pitcher for the Diamondbacks. First pitch to Pete is high and a ball. Arushan, I really don't do much with WWE. The guy on the other channel is a wild man. It's fun. It's fun kind of seeing some of these other creators in their natural habitats. That's fastball on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike to Pete Alonso. Cricket, I know a little bit about cricket, Arushan. Mostly from John Boy. I know a little bit about wickets, and it was a good pitch there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was a really good pitch. Pete Alonso at the plate here. Mets have a runner on second, but they got to figure out how to get him home. It's been the problem, is not capitalizing. Step off there. Tyrone Taylor goes back to the bag. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, bottom 7. Diamondbacks up 2-1 on the Mets. That's high and outside. Full count for Pete Alonso. Mark Vientos, Swaggy Marky V on deck. Your team is a cricket champion. Which team is that, Rushan? Cricket champion. That's outside. That is Pete Alonso's 3rd walk of the day. And I know it's frustrating sometimes that Pete's not hitting home runs in these situations, but the fact that he's willing to take these walks and trust the guys around him. Durbin. Well, awesome. The Durbin Supergiants, is that who it is, Arushan? Well, Vientos has the only RBI and run for the Mets tonight with his solo home run back in the 3rd inning. Ooh, good rip on that first pitch. Fouled it back. Got under it just a little bit. No balls, 1 strike. Oh, he got him on the pitch in the dirt. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Yeah, he held off on that pitch because he had seen it. Michael, how's it going? 1 ball, 2 strikes to Vientos here. That's a hard slider to lay off of. I would imagine he's going to go back to it again. There's no reason to give Vientos a strike here. And he does go to it again, and Vientos lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes is the count. Well, welcome to the club, Michael. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Struck out swinging. Vientos is not able to get the runner home. It is going to be 2-1. So we go to the top of the 8th inning now. It gets a little scary. So top of the 8th, Diamondbacks are leading 2-1. Mets need their bullpen to hold here. Stanek was in. I can't imagine they're going to bring him back out. He looked like he had no idea what he was doing, like he has his last 3 appearances now. You're 11, Arusha. Well, hopefully we can teach a little bit about baseball here. And you can teach us a little bit about cricket. We are at a commercial break. The Diamondbacks are coming up. Due up for the Diamondbacks is Corbin Carroll, Randall Grichuk, and Eugenio Suarez. Chris Davinsky is coming in for the Mets to be the pitcher. Mets are looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning here, then try to take the lead. Well, great question, Mick. I love the question. So, Mick's question, I'll pose it to everybody here. But you need one strikeout. Who do you choose, Mariano Rivera or Randy Johnson? They were both amazing, amazing pitchers. But I have to say, if I get one batter and I have to have the strikeout at their prime, man, it's really close, but I think I go Randy Johnson. There's a great argument to be made for either. But at the prime, I think I go Randy Johnson. Let me know. Who would you go? You need a strikeout in their prime. Soundwave says Mariano Rivera. Who's at the plate, too? I guess that kind of depends a little bit. All right, Chris Davinsky pitching for the Mets. First pitch, swinging, grounder to Acuna. Actually, second pitch. But ground out there for one out here. So I'll go Randy Johnson. Soundwave goes Mariano Rivera. There were a couple years where Pedro Martinez and Randy Johnson were just absolutely dominant. Oh, with prime Barry Bonds at the plate. If it's Barry Bonds, so I feel like if it's anyone who's like younger, newer, for sure the intimidation of Randy Johnson. But if I'm, yeah, I don't know, prime Barry Bonds, that might sway me to Rivera. I feel like under most circumstances, prime Mariano Rivera is like best at getting out like another superstar. You really can't go wrong with either. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count here. It's a really good question, though, Mick. I like it. I like that question. I was fortunate that I got to see both. I got to see both in their primes. I'm sure there's going to come that point where like it's going to be like, who's Randy Johnson or whatever, like for young kids. But hey, all day, how's it going? Yeah, Mets need to turn it around. We need to get out of this inning here. So appreciate you coming by. It's foul back, remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah. Mets are gonna need let's see, who's due up? Marte is due up, I think. So I wonder if we'll get a pinch hitter for Marte. We'll see. You do have Brandon Nimmo on the bench here, too. Now, I don't know if there's something wrong. There's a swing and a miss. There's strike 3. There's 2 outs in the top of the 8th. I feel like you got to give, unless there's a reason he's out, you got to give Nimmo a shot. Yep. Yeah, so I was in the middle of it was called Small World Fantasy Baseball back in the day. And you could have the same players and you have to trade players. But I remember there was Randro and there was Shildro where you just like alternate and like you would have one for their start. That's a liner down the left field line by Suarez. It's going to be a double. 2 out double for Suarez. That's Suarez's first hit on the day. All right, so watching the replay. Yeah, I mean there was time. I mean obviously Every pitcher has their bad day. Of course, people talk about Luis Gonzalez getting the hit off of Mariano Rivera. I mean, I remember watching that game and just being like mind blown. Like I thought that game was over. Just mind blown that Rivera gave up that hit to Gonzalez. Grounded to first. Alonso grabs it, throws to Davinsky. So Mets get out of this inning, going to the bottom of the eighth. Soundwave says, I'd rather face Rivera on the mound versus the big unit in an alley. That's for sure. That is for sure. I just have to imagine if you're like this 20-year-old kid, it's like your major league debut, and you come to the plate and you look out there and it's Randy Johnson. Like, how tall was he? Like 6'8"? Randy Johnson height. I mean, if I'm a bird, then it's definitely Mariano Rivera. 6'10". I don't think I knew this. I knew he was tall, but he was the tallest player in Major League history when he made his Major League debut. I don't think I actually knew that. All right, let's see, because it sounds like someone passed him. So since then, Sean Hagel last year with the San Francisco Giants, he's 6'11", and John Roush with the Nationals, he's also 6'11". So there's been two pitchers since Randy Johnson who have been taller than him. Former Met Eric Hillman was 6'10" as well. Drafted by the Mets in the 16th round of 1987. Chris Young was 6'10" for the Rays. Aaron Slegers, 6'10" for the Rays. Mark Hendrickson, 6'9" for the Orioles. Bailey Ober, 6'9" for the Twins. So mostly pitchers, though, right? The tallest guys. All right. Well, due up for the Mets is Starling Marte, but they're going to pinch it with Jesse Winker. I'm fine with that move here. With Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez on deck. You do have Nimmo available, too, if you want to go that route. They do have a righty that they just brought in. Shelby Miller is a righty, so I feel like you definitely would want to maybe bring Nimmo in here. First pitch is a ball to Winker. We just need a base runner here. Looking for a base runner here. Stanek not forgiven. Yeah. Ain't that true, Heavy? I don't understand why Mendoza keeps putting him in high leverage situations. This is hit deep to left center field. Gurriel makes the catch on the warning track. That was a good rip there by Winker. But not able to get it out. It was close. I think this bullpen is just too. This bullpen's in a lot of flux right now. And Mendoza just doesn't have enough options. They're not going to pinch hit for McNeil here. So they're going to save Nimmo. I don't know if they're saving him for Tyrone Taylor, maybe. Or if he's just not able to play. So Edwin Diaz is warming up. This is the same Edwin Diaz we didn't bring in when we had leads against the Nationals. We're going to bring in when we're losing against the Diamondbacks, I guess. It's 0-2 to McNeil here. So I don't know. I'm not saying that Mendoza's job is easy, because by no means is it, but there's definitely been a handful of decisions that have been starting to pile up. That's like, ugh. That's in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes to McNeil. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight. Hopefully the Mets can turn it around. But if not, I still am glad that we're hanging out together tonight. So if you haven't yet done so, please hit that like, hit that subscribe. The vertical stream's up to 30 likes on tonight. So you guys have been awesome. So a tapper in front of the plate to McNeil. Off balance throw. He's safe. Good hustle by McNeil. They're going to challenge maybe. Yep, he's safe. No challenge. So good hustle by McNeil. Really, like seriously, that's right. Talk about the bloop and the blast or the bleeder and the blast. Francisco Alvarez. Yeah, he flew down that line. First pitch is a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. It's bottom of the 8th here. It was really close. If McNeil had hesitated at all, he would have been out. Foul back there. 1 ball, 1 strike to Alvarez. Yeah, Redman. Here's the thing, though. Got another opportunity right here, right now. The narrative is only the narrative till you change the narrative. Remember, Pete Alonso couldn't hit in clutch situations until now all of a sudden he can. The narrative's the narrative until the narrative changes. Alvarez fouls that one back. It's a good rip. He saw that one well. One ball, 2 strikes to Francisco Alvarez. McNeil at first, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Mets are down by 1. Edwin Diaz is warming up in the bullpen. Ooh, good pitch, but he took it just outside. I mean, he almost went for it. You feel like Francisco Alvarez will break out? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go, Alvy. Let's see what you got here, Francisco. Swing and a miss. That was ball 3. It was a really good pitch. All right. So they're going to bring in Nimmo for Acuna here. So that means Nimmo's going to left and Acuna is out, which means McNeil is probably going to come in and play second base. I'm assuming that's how this is going to play here. And this is the flexibility that I really like with the roster construction right now. Okay, so Nimmo has been sick. Of course, Nimmo's coming off of his 9 RBI day, which tied a Mets single game record, tied it with Carlos Delgado. The Mets single game record for RBIs. He won't get 9 in this game, but 2 right now would feel really nice. Yeah, I mean, he's not feeling 100%, but I think in this moment, this is their best. This is the best chance to try to get the home run and take the lead or the extra base hit. Because you're going to need an extra base hit, or you either need 2 hits or an extra base hit to score McNeil. So, first pitch, swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Mets are the home team, so they're going to get a shot in the bottom of the 9th. Lindor and Soto are due to get up in the 9th, and if one more runner gets on, then so will Pete. Swing and a miss by Nimmo there. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. All right. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Nimmo. That's hit to the shortstop. And he's going to be thrown out, and that's going to end the inning. And it is Edwin Diaz time coming in, even though it's not a save situation because apparently that's how we do. So here's the thing. So what do you do? So Jonathan's saying put Azokar in left field for defense. The opposite side is like if this goes extra, do you want Nimmo's bat in the lineup? So you've got I can see the argument for both. Obviously, Nimmo's not going to get up in the 9th unless somehow the Mets give up a couple runs and then they score a bunch of runs. Due up in the 9th is Tyrone Taylor, Francisco Lindor, and Juan Soto. Due up for the Diamondbacks now is Gabriel Moreno, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Jorge Barosa. All 3 of those guys are 1 for 3 on the day. So, all right, we're going to do trumpets here really quick. All right, so we'll see if Edwin Diaz has anything in him. That's what we got, man. We're a low tech, low budget operation here. I can't afford to pay Timmy Trumpets anything to play his songs. That's what you get. All right. So this is going to be a technicality. We're getting this one on technicality, but the rock solid relief performance today on technicality. It's my pet rock that I made back in like kindergarten here with his tongue sticking out. It's going to Brandon Waddell. Because Huascar Brazaban started the game. He pitched well, pitched 2 innings. But in his Mets debut and 2025 debut, just his 12th appearance in a major league game, he went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 3 hits with 4 strikeouts. So it's a technicality because he was kind of scheduled to be the main pitcher, but he gets the rock solid relief performance. So congratulations, Brandon Waddell, on a great first performance of 2025. And I say just leave him up here. Leave him up here and maybe send a Ryan Stanek down. So, it's actually not Diaz. Oh, I pre-trumped. They showed Diaz coming in from the bullpen. Hold on. I saw Diaz coming in from the bullpen before the commercial break. Tell me I'm not crazy. Tell me I'm rewinding. I wasted my whole trumpet solo. Hold on, I'm watching this. There's a strike there. They showed Diaz. I guess it wasn't officially coming in. 3 balls, 1 strike to Moreno. That's a good. Oh, that's a strike. Well, I called it ball 4. Well, there's a leadoff walk for the Diamondbacks here. All right, so Winker stays in as a designated hitter. Nimmo goes in as a left fielder, and McNeil goes to second base. The general rule of thumb is if you're behind, you put in your offensive guys. If you're ahead, you put in your defensive guys. So, because on the off chance that the Mets can tie this up and take it to extras, it's lined to left field over the head of Nimmo. And Gurriel has a double. And Davinsky does not have it this inning. He looked good last inning, but not this inning. So it's 2-1, but the Diamondbacks have runners on second and third with nobody out. So now you're getting to the point where it's like almost a waste to bring Diaz in. First pitch is a strike to Barossa. There's nobody out. Two on, top of the ninth. Mets are already down by one, and this could get really difficult really fast. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. We need bullpen help. I'm going to tell you that. Some of this is not Mendoza. Some of this is just it's hard. You know, Davinsky got called up today, and like, what do you do? Oh yeah, NYC slots for sure. We couldn't get a hit when we needed to, and that's the thing. Back if you go all the way back to that first inning, the Mets had opportunities to score, and they've had opportunities to score throughout. If you don't get these good pitchers like Corbin Burns, if you don't get them early, you usually just don't get them. It's like the first inning, that's the time to get them, and you got to put up multiple runs, crooked numbers in the first against these guys. So, no, there's no one to blame. Like this is not a Mendoza mistake. He just doesn't have you don't have the arms right now. You're already pitching a bullpen game from the start. That's outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I just don't understand why in our rotation, why did we need an opener today? That doesn't seem to make sense to me. There's a liner to center. It's going to score 1 run, and everyone's going to move up. So it's going to be 3-1 with a runner on third now with one out. So that's a good piece of hitting. Blaine, how's it going? Let's go, Mets. How do I feel about the Mets? The Mets have major bullpen issues, major, and it's only getting worse because of injuries. And so, just like the bullpen carried this team through the first month, it's time for the offense to wake up. So, yeah. And Jonathan, what you're saying is absolutely correct. We need the starting pitchers to go deeper. We're taxing. So who's pitching tomorrow that they couldn't pitch today? Like, I understand you want to do 5 days of rest for Senga when you can. Is that who's pitching tomorrow? Like, I don't understand. Yeah, so today the reason it's a starter game is because Senga can't go on 4 days rest. And that just yeah, so that's what's hurting us is they want to keep Senga on this 5 day rest cycle. So then when you play 6 games in a row, then you've got to do an opener. And then so now we don't have Brazaban for late in the game. I mean, Waddell pitched amazing, guys. If you didn't see it, he pitched amazing. Yeah, we need some small ball for sure. They don't do the small ball for the Knicks either. Yeah. Yeah. I I don't know. We need we need arms. We need bullpen arms. And the problem is some of the arms we have are not high leverage arms right now, like Stanek. But who else do you have? Like who else are you going to? Gotta have guys pitch. You got to fill out 9 innings every game. It's tough. But I still say with an opener game and you only give up 3 runs, you got to score more than 3 runs at home. This is a fly ball to center. And there's going to be another run in, tagging up. So really good job by the Diamondbacks to do that. Brandon, how's it going? Mendoza should have left tonight's starting pitch for the Mets in for the seventh. He was toast. Waddle was toast. Yeah, like Sproat. So that's the question: is like, do you bring up a Brandon Sproat? Do you have? I mean, Brooks Raley's on the injured list. He'll be available soon. It's hard. Like these guys, Waddell and Davinsky, they're probably going to be sent down tonight, guys. There'll probably be 2 new arms in the bullpen tomorrow. Yep, we do need to bounce back tomorrow. That's for sure. But I mean, that's the one negative with Senga, I guess, is if you're forced then into an opener game so he can get his 5 days rest, which I understand you want to keep him healthy because this Mets team is a whole lot better with Senga healthy than without him. So there's 2 outs here, top of the 9th. It is. I got to get my banner updated here. Sorry. It is 4-1 Diamondbacks. So now, yeah, probably the worst part about this is though all the runs have been coming from the bottom of the order. Oh, this umps zone. I mean, there would have been so many challenge strikes tonight if we had the ABS challenge system, guys, from both teams. He was squeezing Burns. Like, there's just wow. He just took strike 3 called. That was like 3 inches outside. If you want to see a bad ump scorecard, look at this ump scorecard tonight. Scott Berry is a rough night behind the plate. Rough night. Including calling Francisco Alvarez out on strikes on just the second strike. So appreciate everybody hanging out with us. We will be live tomorrow for the 1 o'clock game. So I'm excited for that. But make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're on the way to 300 with our next checkpoint being 250 subscribers. We're 10 away from that. So could help us tremendously. If you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, do that as well. So this is it. Mets are coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning. Diamondbacks lead 4-1. This would be a great night for a comeback. Every night's a great night for a comeback for the Mets. It is Tyrone Taylor, Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto. So Rally Pig is 1 for 3 on the 9th. So we're going to do that. We're going to bring out Rally Pig and try to bring a little bit of luck. So I don't think I don't think Brandon Sproat's the thing. What you need some bullpen arms. I haven't checked to see exactly how Sproat is doing to start the season. Yeah, Blade Tidwell, Matt Allen, like all these guys, like maybe, but I think they're going to try to use some vet arms first if they can. They really have zero desire to rush any of these guys. Let's go here. I'm going to just look up some stats here a little bit. Let's go here. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to try to weather the storm here a little bit, but there will be There is 0% chance that the current bullpen that the Mets have will be the bullpen that we take into the playoffs. Soundwave, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean the Mets have lots of nice arms getting ready. They just don't want to do that. Yeah, I think Daniel Nunez is going to be one of the first ones. I don't know what else the Mets would be waiting for him. Sports market guy, how's it going? Taylor rips this one. Deep left field. The Mets have life. Tyrone Taylor. That's his first home run of the season, guys. Remember I told you he gets one home run a month? He just waited until April 30th. He waited till April 30th to get his home run of the month. That's what Tyrone Taylor averages one home run a month if you look at his stats from last year. All right. Well, hey, Rally Pig is 2 for 4 tonight. Maybe this is a slump buster for Rally Pig. And now you're at the top of the lineup, guys. So it's Lindor, Soto, Alonso with nobody out in the bottom of the ninth. First pitch is a ball outside. Mets crowd is waking up there. That's inside on Soto. 2 balls, no strike. Okay, here, all you want Soto to do is get on base, right? So when I'm little league coaching and we're in this situation, the whole team knows what I say. I say we need hitters, not heroes. We need base runners right now. Ooh, outside strike, I guess. 2 balls, 1 strike to Soto here. So Mets are down by 2. And all you really have to do here is just tie it up. Like first goal is get this tied up, and then we can try to win it. So this is Lindor at the plate. I think I said Soto. Anyway, Lindor's at the plate. Count is 3 balls and 1 strike. And that's ball 4. And now Soto's coming to the plate. So, sports market guy, let's do this. I'm just assuming Daniel Nunez. Mets fan, how's it going? Oh, we got a little argument going on here. Torey Lovullo wants a mound visit. All these silly, stupid rules. All this stuff. Yep. So Soto is the tying run here. You won your game. Congrats, Mets fan. Congrats. How did you do? Our team won our game last night, and we beat the Mets in the game that we were playing. It was weird cheering against the Mets. But you're really not cheering against the Mets. So basically, the Diamondbacks had used up all their mound visits, but you get an extra one in the 9th. And I don't know. So that's what's going on. It's just a mound visit. Nothing. You haven't missed any action here. Juan Soto coming to the plate. Francisco Lindor on first. Mets already have 1 run in on a Tyrone Taylor home run, his first of the season. Juan Soto at the plate. Lindor on first. Nobody out. Mets are down 4-2. First pitch is a strike. No ball, 1 strike. Yeah, I would have to imagine Nunez is coming up. I have to imagine, unless there's some reason why you need Nunez tomorrow. That's a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pontiac vibe. Pontiac vibe. It's always my car of choice. Awesome. Congrats. That's like the game-winning RBI. Fouled by Soto, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, congrats on getting that RBI single for your team, Mets fan. Yeah, I think Daniel Nunez has to come up. He's got to come up tomorrow, unless there's some reason why. That's inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, maybe they just want to. I don't know what else they'd want to. I'm looking up some articles on Nunez here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's in the dirt. 3-2. Bounce high. Moreno was able to keep it from going. Yeah. I mean, David Stern says Nunez, his post spring ramp up is ready. So I got to imagine he's going to come up tomorrow. In the dirt. Ball 4. Pete Alonso comes up as the potential game-winning run. Back-to-back walks. Sounds good, Mets fan. We'll cheer on the Mets for you. Hopefully they can pull this out. Congrats again on your win. So here's one thing that Lovullo is doing that I feel like Mendoza doesn't always do is his closer obviously doesn't have it, Ryan Thompson or whoever it was. He doesn't have it. So he, after 3 batters, as soon as he can, he pulls them from the game. Don't try to keep making it work when it's obviously not going to work. Sorry, it was Martinez that he pulled out. Thompson's coming in. So Justin Martinez just didn't have it tonight, but pull him before it gets any worse. So, like, I feel like this is sometimes where Mendoza would get a little bit cute. They're not I don't think they're trading Vientos Soundwave. I think Vientos is the third baseman for at least a couple years until you have that chance to get someone else. And even then, I think you could just move Vientos as like DH with a little bit of third base. Now, Beatty, on the other hand, if you can do it, but I still think they're going to try to be patient. You know, I mean, Brooks Raley is coming. He's going to need a couple of weeks, but Brooks Raley is coming. Daniel Nunez is ready. Paul Blackburn should be back soon, too, I think. Let me see. Paul Blackburn injury. And then not to mention, you've got Montas and Minaya. You know, so which then you can potentially shift somebody to the bullpen there. I'm just looking up articles here. Blackburn was set to throw a bullpen at Citi Field yesterday. All right, Pete Alonso is at the plate. Pete's already walked 3 times tonight. I'll look up Ronnie in a second here too. I mean, it's there's lots of good thoughts out here, guys. Ronnie is on the path to coming back, though. All right, here we go. Bottom of the 9th. Mets are still down 4-2, but there's nobody out. Runners on first and second. Pete Alonso's at the plate. First pitch is a ball. Pete's just showing such excellent patience. I'm standing up, guys. We're going to move the desk up here. Pete fouls that one back and out of the way. We're just raising up the desk. Don't worry. My face will come back into view here in a second. So 1-1 count to Pete. Runners on first and second. Come on, Petey. Pete gives that one a rip, but that's foul down the first base line, way out of play. One ball, two strikes to Pete. You have, I believe it's Vientos and then Winker. Fouled out of play. It's probably a ball, but it's a hard pitch to lay off with two strikes. So Pete did a good job just to foul that ball out of play. All right, let's go, Pete. Come on, Pete. Pete takes a good pitch. It was close, but he hasn't been calling that low strike. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Pete. Come on. Come on. Just because I missed it hits him. Oh, it hits Pete on the hand. Bases are going to be loaded for Vientos. That's his 5th hit by pitch, right in the hand. Kevin Parada, yeah, isn't it crazy how many guys that we have that all right, Mark Vientos at the plate. He has the home run earlier in the day. Bases loaded. First pitch is a strike. Yeah, he was taking that pitch no matter what. I think that's for a younger player. That's a good play there. All right, here's the 0-1 pitch to Vientos. Inside. Hey, let it hit you. Another hit by pitch is a run here. Mets need 2 to tie, 3 to win. Bottom of the 9th. Bases loaded. Nobody out. You got Lindor, Soto, Alonso on base. Somebody from the team needs to step up. Catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball. All right, what does Vientos have here? So swung at a bad pitch. All right, there's first out. Okay, so it's Winker and McNeil. All right. This feels like a Jesse Winker magic moment, doesn't it? Bases are still loaded. Now there's 1 out. Bottom of the 9th. Swings and misses at the first pitch. No balls, 1 strike. All right. A single ties the game here. Just need to put this ball in play. That's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. So Winkers thought the ball hit off of his foot. It's not reviewable. Did the umpires botch another call? Well, they're going to at least talk about it. So if it stands, Winker's out and a run scored. All the umps are shaking their head. They don't have it. You can't challenge it. So they called it that it was just a so so Winker's going to be out. The run scores. So it's 4-3 with runners on second and third. How's it going, Arushan? So Azokar is going to come in to pinch run for Alonso. So I don't know what the Mets are going to do here. All right, Jeff McNeil's at the plate. The Mets just need to win this because Pete's out of the game. Pete's out of the game. Fouled out of play for Jeff McNeil. Mets are just they're going for the win. No balls, one strike. Base hit wins the game. Let's see. See if McNeil can do it here. That's way outside. One ball, one strike. If first base is open, if McNeil gets on, Francisco Alvarez comes up. So who's playing first? Vientos goes to first. Who's playing third? That's low. 2 balls, 1 strike. So you got to bring in because who else can play first other than Vientos? So first base is going to be Vientos. That's 3-1 now. 3 balls, 1 strike to McNeil. They're just going to walk McNeil here. So it's Francisco Alvarez comes up now with the bases loaded. So I'm just trying to figure out what the Mets lineup is going to be here if we tie it. This is crazy. I understand why they pulled Alonso. They're going for the win. So who's playing second? Who was playing second? McNeil was playing second. First pitch is a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Alvarez. How's it going, Vitalik? We got a crazy game going on here at the end. Mets are trying to figure out. Alvarez swings at one in the dirt. You're in South Africa, Rushan? Oh, yeah, bad chase. Just need any hit ties the game. A good hit wins the game. Well, those 2 runs the Mets gave up just hurt so much. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Alvarez. Can't imagine it's going to be a strike. It's not. But still hard when you're standing up there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Who's going to be second base for the Mets? So if you go, or who's going to be third base for the Mets? If Vientos goes plays first, I don't know. Grounded to third. Oh, it's going to be thrown out. That's the game. That ball went really weird for a second. So that's going to be the game, ladies and gents. Sorry, we can't bring you a better result. Yeah, beat them by 2 steps. Why don't the Vikings trade for Sauce Gardner, Brian? I don't know. I don't know. Well, the Mets got 2 in the bottom of the 9th, but they gave up 2 in the top of the 9th, and that's why they couldn't pull off this game. Stanek deserves the loss, and he got it. It's 3 losses and 3 blown games for Stanek out of the last 6 games. Will the Vikings win the Super Bowl? I don't know. Why can't you feed a Vikings player soup? Because every time they get near the bowl, they choke. Right? That's the old Vikings joke that I remember. All right. Yeah, stranded too many runners. That's for sure. And this bullpen is in trouble. I'm hoping that we're going to wake up to Danielle Nunez on this team tomorrow. I'm going to imagine there's zero reason that Waddell and Davinsky will be on this team tomorrow. Hey, I used to live up there, so I used to hear all the jokes. I used to hear those Viking jokes. Well, I mean, the Mets still battled in the ninth, which is good, but just didn't have it. Stranded too many runners, not enough bullpen depth. Tomorrow is Kodai Senga Day. We'll be live with you guys at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Please make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way out. Sorry we couldn't bring you a win here tonight, but we'll do our best to bring you one tomorrow. And for now, as always, have a great night and let's go Mets, baby. We'll see you tomorrow.